Super Mario 64, the 3D platformer that revolutionized gaming with its crisp platforming, amazing level designs, and its, unique camera system. This game was fantastic, and it just so happened to be one of the many launch titles with the Nintendo 64 all the way back in 1996. The launch titles were either Pilot Wings or Super Mario 64, unless you're in Japan and really loved shogi. I mean, come on. Everyone was gonna buy this console just to play Super Mario 64 and shogi. There was no competition at all. PlayStation? What's that? Oh, it outsold the N64. Well, that doesn't matter. Shogi is still a win in my heart. Oh, fuck yeah. Super Mario 64 took the world by storm, solidifying 3D Mario as a whole new pillar in the franchise. Gone are the days of our pesky plumber being stuck moving along the Y-axis. He now has a Z to worry about. Ah! People loved this game, and Nintendo knew that, so they made a few more of them to scratch the itch they needed. But there's a 3D Mario I'm forgetting about. Don't read the title of the video. That's gonna spoil it for me. Oh yeah, Super Mario 64 DS. If we're gonna talk about this, then we're gonna need to travel back in time all the way to 2004. The Nintendo DS. The system announced to be a handheld with a sleek clamshell design that utilized a mixture of touchscreen and button gameplay. It also came with a Game Boy Advance slot in the bottom so you can play all those games you like. They were scared of this thing failing, so they called it a third pillar. If it did, they can just go back to the Game Boy and stay inside their comfort zone. Now, what ended up happening? Oh, that's right, it sold roughly 154 million systems. At the time, Nintendo needed to prove how capable of a system this handheld was. So, that's right, they showed a whole-ass 3D Mario game running on this thing. The DS is so powerful, it can play N64 games? Apparently so. This game became a launch title for the system underneath the name Super Mario 64 DS. Alright, I just want to say how ridiculous a name like this title is. The game was called Super Mario 64 because it was made for the Nintendo 64, which was called that because it was 64 bits. It was a gimmick name. So they slapped that name on here because it's iconic and then add DS to it to further make it even more gimmicky. It's not a bad name. It certainly does roll off the tongue. I just think they could have made the name scream that it's a remake more than just slapping the DS logo on it. So why am I going through Super Mario 64 DS? Well, dear viewer, after already looking at Super Mario 64 through my critical video on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, I thought it would be a lot more interesting to look at the DS remake. I'm going to assume you've played or are at least familiar with the original version of Super Mario 64. It's not really possible to spoil anything about this game unless you've been under a rock for almost 30 years. This game is incredibly weird and the game makes it very apparent from the intro. So without further ado, let's dust off the old Wii U and play this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Super Mario 64 DS is a pretty cool title screen. We can mess around with Mario or Yoshi's head. We can also draw our own character. Look at this! It's a rocket ship! Love this way more than the original already. Couldn't do that on the N64. This game is the only other Mario game on the Nintendo DS to have a Rec Room and a Versus mode. Man, they were really cooking with these back in the early 200s. Did I actually write 200s? What the fuck? The Versus mode is pretty easy to understand. You have 4 arenas and you, 3 other players battle it out to grab stars. Not sure how the multiplayer works on the Wii U, but I don't think I'm using download play. That's for sure. This is a nice little mode. I honestly believe it'd be a lot more fun with friends, but alas, I'll be fine playing these alone. I'm pretty sure this mode doesn't feature any power-ups, but I could very well be wrong. Maybe they spawn when you're playing with others. On the other side of the menu, we have the Rec Room. This is where the greatest minigames of all time are located. The minigames are categorized to our many different Mario characters. Fuck! Yeah, I don't think I like Yoshi's games. Mario has some trampoline stuff for some reason. Gotta keep a bunch of Marios from falling to their death. Wario has one where you fire cannonballs at bob-ombs slowly falling down. Then there's Luigi. If you've played New Super Mario Bros. DS, then you'd be familiar with the greatness that is Luigi's Casino. I absolutely love Luigi's Casino. It may just be matching cards, but I feel the gambling spirit. Wanna know something though? Super Mario 64 DS doubles down, no pun intended, on the gambling aspect. That's right, it's roulette time. Put all my coins on black. Fuck. Well, if I can't win at roulette, I might as well go play slots. I might be worse at this than I thought. Why can't I win at this? No. I can't be out of coins. Please. I need one more game. Fine. I'll leave the casino. Oh, you're just gonna force me out? Well, fine. I don't need your slot machines. Well, those were the minigames. After learning that I truly shouldn't buy a lottery ticket or go to an actual casino, I have come to the conclusion that these are some of the greatest minigames that have ever graced the Mario franchise. Since this was the beginning of the DS's life cycle, they needed to have a way to show off the power of the touchscreen within their 3D Mario. These do such an amazing job for bite-sized minigames. I could absolutely play these games for hours at a time. Maybe if I could actually win at this damn game, I'd like you, Yoshi. There's no doubt in my mind that Nintendo could have easily made a quick buck selling these as DSiWare later down the line. But no. They decided to keep these exclusive to these two games, which isn't a bad thing. It gives the player a reason to come back after a long time. I'm actually curious at this point how much they'd sell them for individually. I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of $69.99. They'd probably sell them for $2.99. It's a nice low price that wouldn't hurt anyone's wallet too much. So that's all the stuff you can do outside the game. I think it's a pretty good amount of content if you really love Luigi's Casino like I do. Maybe someday I'll get to play the versus mode with somebody for some good old-fashioned fun. It genuinely seems like you could have an amazing time. Now that that's out of the way, let's start ourselves a brand new game. Super Mario 64 DS is a very different game. It starts off as you'd expect, he jumps out of the pipe, but then two more of them appear and Luigi and Wario pop out. Yep, it's official now. Wario is the third Mario brother. That's so dumb. They head into the castle to get some cake, but they don't ever come out, which is why Lakitu over here wakes up Yoshi. Yep, we're playing as Yoshi, I guess. What kind of Mario game is this? This isn't Super Mario 64, it's a Super Yoshi 64. My bad for not mentioning it a moment ago. This game features characters.
Whoa, slow down, egghead.
Each of these characters have their own special abilities that make them best suited for specific tasks. Yoshi can flutter, throw eggs, and consume. Oh yeah, this game features a run button, which is really weird. If you stand still and hold Y, you will go from standing still to a whole-ass Olympic runner. They probably added it to give the player more precision when walking around on small objects. The game itself kinda controls really weird. It's not the worst, but they make up for it with their amazing control scheme options. So they're expecting you to play this with one hand controlling the camera and one hand controlling the character by using the touchscreen with the stylus. Yeah, so if you're right-handed, fuck you, I guess. I'm not, but I'll have to say, fuck this control scheme anyways. They do offer controller options, so if you're right-handed, you're not totally screwed. I'm glad they give you the option to use the D-pad, or in this case, use the control stick, because man, I would not last a single moment if I was forced to use the touchscreen. The only problem is that since you can use the D-pad, you'll lose access to the 360-degree movement, so your inputs won't be the most accurate. But it does work. The camera controls can be very finicky, but feel way better than the original. At least in my opinion. Who knows if it actually is? For all I know, this could be actual dog shit. For a handheld version of Super Mario 64, this game controls extremely well. There's nothing here I can say I genuinely dislike from a movement perspective. It all feels really clean and crisp like the original. Inside Peach's castle, this is an all too familiar place. Yeah, this is Super Mario 64. There are some very obvious differences here, like the fact I need 12 power stars to fight Bowser that I'll get to in just a moment. But first, I need to talk about the fact they changed my small secret slide room to a character select area. Oh yeah, it's actually still there, they just moved it off to the side. In order to use the other characters, we've gotta save them. Bowser stuck them in paintings, so we've gotta go inside some new levels and get them out. Mario is an absolutely required character in order to beat the game, unless you're a speedrunner, of course. Mario's level is very easy. The only thing you gotta worry about is your impending doom if you fall off the ledge. These levels have various star missions, but the main one is the boss fight. Oh, looks like we gotta fight the Goomba King. I mean, if he was as easy as he is in Paper Mario, then this should be a cakewalk. Just throw eggs at him and he's dead. It's a pretty easy fight. Mario is the all-around normal character. He can slide on walls, dive, and exist. He's required to fight Bowser, which makes him the only required character, as I mentioned earlier. Luigi's is a little puzzly level inside Big Boo's haunt that ends with a fight with King Boo. I think it's really cool how you control both your character and Luigi at the same time. So when King Boo decides what side to hover over, you can just wail on him. Luigi is fucking broken. He may be slippery and has a bit of a flutter, but his backflip into a little spin makes him the best character in the entire game. A lot of this game can just be cheesed with Luigi, which is pretty awesome. I don't even know what to say about Wario's level. All I did was backflip to victory with Luigi. The Chief Chili fight was a pretty good challenge, especially when I'm Luigi and, you know, I'm just sliding around. He's like one of those bully things, so all you have to do is knock him off the arena a few times. Who the fuck wants to use Wario? This guy is slow, can barely jump, but he can smash these black brick blocks, so he is kinda useful in very specific situations. I just wouldn't want to play him. Honestly, I really love the addition of the characters. Instead of being able to just plow through everything at once, the game wants you to explore and come back after you've obtained more abilities so you can grab everything. Enemies or the ground can be wearing one of their hats. As long as you wear one of these, you obtain their attributes, allowing you to get the character's specific stars while not actually playing as them. Very great idea. Though I think it would have been better if you could just switch between them on the fly to make it easier. Really amazing addition overall. I give it 1 gold star. I'm just gonna go inside the rec room for a moment. Oh look, a new painting. Wait a minute, this isn't Super Mario Sunshine. So this game did actually add a few new levels. By few, I mean 2. I'm very surprised they did that. They didn't have to add any other ones outside the character levels, but they did. Well, they're more or less more secret levels to give you a power star, so they're kind of just one-off things. Sunshine Isles is a little nod to this little forgotten game called Super Mario Sunshine. There's nothing really sunshiny about this other than the tropical atmosphere. How the fuck did Klepto get here? This bird just doesn't die. Battle Fort, on the other hand, well, it sure is a battle fort, that's for sure. Now let's get on to some of this game's many changes. Of course, we need to mention the fact that the power-ups got a major overhaul in this game. Because of the fact that there are now more characters, not only did they need to add more of them, but they changed how it worked originally. Mario no longer has the metal cap or the vanish cap. He retains his access to the wing cap though, because what kind of man would he be without it? He also gets to turn into a fucking balloon, I guess. Oh, look at me, I can float. This power-up is very situational, and its purpose is most often defeated by just using Luigi. Luigi only gets access to the vanish cap, so he can go through the mirror and end up in purgatory. Since Wario is so slow, why not give him the metal cap? Makes him even slower. Yoshi actually gets a new power-up. It just allows him to breathe fire. Not very useful unless you're melting away the ice in Snowman's Land. There's also the Mega Mushroom if you really want to use that. It just looks a bit different here than what we're all used to. I really do like how they split the power-ups between each character to give you more of a reason to play as a specific one. But the new ones they gave Mario and Yoshi are just kinda underwhelming. There's always fun to be had with them because it's a Mario game, but I kinda wish they did more with them. Here's an absolutely massive change made to the game. They made the star counts higher. Oh man, inflation hit the Mario universe. Looks like I won't be buying food this week. Bowser won't even see me unless I have 12 stars instead of 8. They added 30 more of these bad boys to this remake, bringing the total up to a whopping 150. Not as much as Super Mario Galaxy's 242, but this is still an absolute ton of collectibles. Each main level now has 9 stars total and features a whole lot of silver star collecting. A lot of these new types of stars just amount to star switches, silver stars, and yep, that's all the new types of power stars. The game was already perfect the way it was, so they didn't need to add any new types of missions, but it's always welcome. A lot of the other list of changes I could talk about are in the levels, and they're very minor. For example, in Tall Mountain, they tried to patch out the slide skip. Yeah, you can still cheese it with Luigi, so it's not like it matters. But I feel like if they were gonna change stuff, they should have actually made them worthwhile additions like the new characters. Changing something or patching it out of the game for no reason other than it hurts how the game is supposed to be played, hurts the flow of it to a certain degree. The game doesn't let you do whatever you wanted like the original. In the case of something like this, you have to go out of your way to even cheese it. In all honesty, it's probably faster to just take the slide. This game's bosses are absolutely incredible as usual. Most of them are the exact same as they were in the original, apart from the fight with King Bob-omb. You actually fight him twice in this game, once with Yoshi and once with Mario. In the first fight, instead of picking him up, Yoshi has to throw the bombs he throws back at him in order to deal damage. Honestly, it's a pretty cool change. When you collect all 150 power stars and fight Bowser, they did change the dialogue in the final fight. Keep that control stick smoking got changed to keep that touchscreen smoking. I mean, it'd be kinda weird if they didn't change it. There is no control stick on the DS. And also, the ending sounds so awkward, it doesn't sound right. Princess Peach has to now acknowledge everyone did in fact save her instead of just Mario, and I'm not used to it at all that it just sounds weird. It's not bad, I'm just not used to it, that's all. But that's more of a nitpick than anything.
Oh! Yoshi! The power of the stars is restored to the castle. It's all thanks to you. Thank you all.
After replaying Super Mario 64 DS and re-100%ing the entire game, I can confidently say that this game, even with its weird level changes, that this is the definitive version of the game, even if it's on the DS. There's so much more stuff to do in this game and have fun with, especially with how broken Luigi is. I can't help but prefer this version over the original, even if I don't have as much experience with it. I really want Nintendo to bring this game over to their next console. It'd have to be reworked to be played without the touchscreen, but I already played most of it without it, so it's not like it's that much of an issue. They could just axe the feature entirely if they wanted to. Super Mario 64 is a revolutionary game in the 3D platforming genre that continues to hold up to the test of time. Only God knows if this game will. Oh, fuck yeah. I'd like to thank you for watching today's video. I'm the one and only Mario guy. I absolutely love these games, so if you stuck around to the end, thank you very much. If you liked the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as it helps me a lot. If you'd also like to, you can turn on post notifications to stay up to date with everything I do. It'll help me a lot in this ever-changing YouTube algorithm. I also now have a channel membership if you'd like to support me. It helps me to continue to create content, so if you'd like, you can support me. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye.